Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of The Call. It's a horror, came out in 2020. Amazon is an 18+, IMDb hasn't got any rating. It's an hour and 37 minutes. Amazon is 3.5 out of 5, IMDb is 4.2 out of 10. I'm going to read the Amazon synopsis. In this terrifying tale of death from the fall of 1987, after a tragic accident, a group of small-town friends must survive the night in the home of a sinister couple. One by one, their worst nightmares quickly become reality as they enter the realm of The Call. 4 friends, 1 phone call, 60 seconds, stay alive. So the director is Timothy Woodward Jr., who directed Gangsterland. Producers, well, there's 17 of them, so I picked the first 4 with producer. Randy J. Goodwin, who produced The Job. Zebulun Hulin, Zebulun who did Hardcore Henry, Jeffrey Riddick, who did The Final Wish, and Patrick Stibbs, Stibbs, who didn't produce anything else. Music was by Samuel Joseph Smythe, who did Traded. Now the cast, as usual, there's main 4, or 5 or 6 or whatever. We have Sloan Morgan Siegel, Siegel, who was Brett, who was in Dwight in Shining Armour. It's a series. He's the left. And going from the left to the right, we have then next one is Mike Manning, who is Zach, who was in Days of Our Lives, a series. Erin Sanders, who is Tonya, who was in Zoe 101, the series. And Chester Rushin, who was Chris, who was in Logan. We have Tobin Bell, who was Edward Cranston, who's, if you've ever seen the horror, Saw. And Lynn Shay, Linshaye, who was Edith Cranston, who was in Dead End. It's also known as One Last Call in Germany. So when I started watching this, because obviously I don't read the synopsis or anything like this, I can't remember what I've put on my to watch list. So I was like, it's the dude from Saw and the woman from Kingpin. Now, if you've seen Kingpin, it's a comedy with Woody Harrelson, I think it is, and somebody else, I can't remember who it is. And she's the landlady. She's not in it for very long, but she's in it. There's some great rock music at the start. So I'm kind of curious what that is. I'm going to try and find out what it is. I don't know what it was. Now, obviously, like I say, I'm thinking, it's set in the 80s or very close to 90s because of all the clothing and the, what they're all, listening to music-wise. Because the lad, Chris, was having a Walkman, the older original one with good electronic beat music. So I was like, it's definitely the 80s, which it was, turned out to be. So this is it, weird and awkward at the same time. So he's listening to music, he's at home, right? And here's his mum next door getting loud, let's just say. So he bangs on the wall, so she pops in and talks to him. He says to her, he says, can you and Patrick be quiet as I'm trying to sleep? And she goes, it's TJ. He works at the bank. And he's like, okay. And she says, when you meet him, can you call him Dad? It's like, what? It's just like, a bit weird, especially considering Chris isn't sort of young or anything. It's a little bit creepy. So it looks like Edith is the one that blamed for Tonya's little sister going missing. So they're off to pay a visit. Her old kind of tradition to do this every year. They did this sort of paying a visit. Obviously not a nice visit. But they ran into her, right? As in on foot. They were running and she just appeared. And I must admit, she wasn't a pushover by any stretch of the means. It wasn't like an old frail lady. My God. It did kind of remind me of Kingpin. in a... What was it? It was... I don't know what it was. Well, she's in a sad place, right? Obviously, because that's what The Call is about. Does it tell you on The Call what it's about? No, it doesn't really tell you. I don't think it tells you in the other one. No, it doesn't. I would just say a tragic accident brings them to the couple's door, so you can probably figure out this anyway. So, like I say, she's in a sad place. So her hubby's there, who's the guy from Saw. And he says while holding her, "My dream was to be with you forever, and I am. So I'm happy as a clam." And then she just cries. I thought it's so kind of like, yeah, that's no matter what's happening, I'm with you. Yes, that's nice. But anyway, she died that night. Literally after they told her to die. So they were like, "Why don't you just die?" So she did. Chris can't eat his breakfast. Gee, I can't imagine why. But it was actually a good reaction compared to the usual, "Oh look, the woman I met before just died last night. Okay, what's on TV?" That's the normal reaction you get in all films, usually American. I'm not singling Americans out, but I tend to watch a lot of American films, so it seems to be that kind of way. It's just like desensitized. "Oh my god, that I just killed a woman, I ran her over," or something like that, and then they just get on with their lives. I mean, I would be bloody in hysterics or something like that, But he was. It was pretty shooken up. I love the music though. I'm still trying to find the soundtrack. I love the 80s music. So the hubby rang Chris up in the middle of the night. So if you've seen Saw, you'll know what I mean. And he said, "Hello, Christopher." And I was saying in my head, go on, say it. "Do you want to play a game?" Just like, you just rung him up. And I thought that was, yeah, it was just the voice. Anyway, so he's talking to them in his house. So Edith left him something in the will, amazingly. Believe it or not. I mean, it's bizarre. And he just said, "If you knew anything about Edith, you would know she liked to play games." And I was like, aha. I wonder, in my little way, that maybe, did he have it? I don't think he had a hand in the producing. Let me have a look. What's his name? Tobin Bell. No, he didn't. He didn't have a hand in anything. But I wonder if he kind of like said, as a homage to Saw, "Can I say this?" Or somebody put it in there, "She likes to play games." I was just like, yay! Want to play a game. So this piqued my interest. The game is, this is what he says. "There's a phone upstairs in the study at the end of the hall. All 4 of you must go up there, one at a time. Number next to the phone, you call it. Stay on the phone for 1 minute, you get $100,000. Who are you calling? You're calling Edith. She's buried with a phone." It's just like, okay. Just a little bit weird, but yeah, okay. Now, I do agree with what he's saying here. So he says that your pranks over the years was more than she could bear. And then Tonya says, "Well, they were just pranks. We're just messing around." And then he says, "There were pranks to you. They were devastating to her." And I agree. It's kind of like, those kids you see on news making fun of old people all the time. They're on TikTok or anything like that, just pissing about, just doing something to a random stranger, whacking them over the back of the head or stealing their phone and going, "It's only for a TikTok view." For that person, it could be quite traumatic. I mean, for we know, or we don't know, they could have had some sort of traumatic experience in their past life, not life, but I mean in their childhood or something, where somebody whacked them over the back of the head and then sexually assaulted them or something, and then you go and do it just for TikTok views, and that guy's in bloody, or girl or whatever, is in therapy for the rest of her life. People don't think that. I don't think we have many of them little prats over here doing it, but it's definitely, again, it's TikTok is more American, I would say, than it is over in Britain. I mean, it's catching up, but we don't have as many. I know I'm jumping sideways. We don't have many prats doing those kind of stunts. So there's not much stunts you can really do in this country, because I would say the police are all over you, but again, you got to find them. I actually did see 2 walking the other day. I was like, oh my god! I was trying to find my phone. But obviously I was driving, so I couldn't take a photo. Not that they'd done anything, because they were chatting in the corner. Anyway, he's given them a choice: play the game or not. Want to play the game? Again, it was just in my head. All your lives you've been driving pranks on somebody. It's like, yeah. Now, it's a weird one because I can't really say what's happening fully. But I like how the call is done. So I can't explain it, because obviously if I explain it, it ruins the film if you haven't seen it. But it's kind of like stepping into your mind. All sorts of things happen. So you're not physically anywhere. It's all in your head. But things are happening. That makes any sense. Kind of weird. But it's an interesting film. I mean, ending was a bit abrupt. It just sort of ended. It was like, what the hell? Each call was different, yet very similar in what they saw. And then the rooms were identical. It was like, well, if it was in your own head, surely it would be a different. But I suppose it was in Edith's mind. I have no idea. Special effects are okay. It's nothing major. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of The Call. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other film reviews, quite a lot of horrors, so you'll be able to find more of those. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave a comment below if you've seen this film. Do you like it? I don't know. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.